Hello!
Hello everyone, we're on the road again.
We're doing something a little bit different today. We're out in the car. And today we're going to be taking you around Benalmádena, but we're going to be specifically looking at the different school and education options that Benalmádena has to offer. Beep beep. Safety first. Are we belted up?
Got seat belts on, yeah.
Spain as a location, relocating to the Costa del Sol, relocating to Benalmádena, it's not just for people who are intending to retire anymore. In the last number of years, we've seen a big emergence of families relocating their family over to the Costa del Sol, making that choice, making it now rather than waiting until their kids have grown up. And as a result of that life decision, schools, education, school choices is right on the top of their list of priorities. And when we work with families that are relocating, the question of schools is one of the first question, if not the first question that we get asked. And often we see people now choosing the schools, or they come with a short list, don't they, of schools that they'd like to explore.
Yeah, no, when you're speaking to them, or you get the conference call, they go, you go through the introduction and everything else, and they're like, what's the schools like in the area? Mm-hmm. And thankfully Benalmádena, we're spoilt for choice, to be honest with you. We have amazing international schools and public schools all on our doorstep.
Yeah, so often people are coming, they've done their own research on the schools, they have a short list of the schools that they'd like to consider, and they're choosing the schools first and then working back into the location and then into the property. So look, the reality is, if you're moving with kids, schools is top of your agenda. And I mean this from my heart, there's no right or wrong answer with this decision in terms of if you pick public or international school. There's no right or wrong answer. You need to do what's right for you, what's right for your kids, what's right for your family. But there's definitely some questions that you need to keep front of mind when you're making that decision. Two key questions I would absolutely tell you to put first to support you to make the right decision. The first one is the age of your kids or your child or your children. Why is this important? This is so important because if your child is older and they have no Spanish language, or they have never been in a Spanish education system before, it will be more difficult for them to integrate into a public school. It will be tough. It's not impossible, but it will be tough, and it will require extra tutoring and maybe more focus and support from you as the parent to make their early days easy. So the age of the child is critical in your decision-making factors when you're choosing public or international school in Spain. The second question that you really need to keep front of your mind is, what are your long-term plans in Spain or in the Costa del Sol? So if you're someone who needs to relocate often for your job and Spain is on your radar for 3 to 5 years, and then you need to move on to another location, you might need to consider the qualifications of the school that your child is going to have. Maybe they're going to be important for your next move, and maybe Spanish public school is not going to give you what you need, and you need to consider a more international curriculum. So there are two things that you need to think about: the age of your child and your long-term plans for Spain. Now, I would absolutely say if your child is of an age where you feel they're going to integrate well into Spanish public school and your long-term plan is to stay in Spain, I'm going to advise you to go Spanish public school all the way, Warner, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely, because it helps them integrate, and it also helps them with the culture and to learn the language, which is really important. It's really important that your children learn the language, because if they're going to be living in Spain, it's important.
It really is, and the reality is when you make a choice to put your kids into international school, the first language, the school language, is going to be English. And they will have Spanish classmates and Spanish friends and Spanish students in their class, but the Spanish kids are being sent there to learn English by their parents. So the first language in the school is going to be English, and they will do Spanish classes. Most, I think, do Spanish classes minimum 3 times a week, maybe even every day. But it's going to take longer for them to onboard the language and integrate in. So from an expectation management point of view, you just need to be, oh, the sea is beautiful today. You just need to be aware of that. A little bit about our own journey with education in Spain. We have experience in both. So when we moved over to Spain, our kids were young enough. They were 4 and 1. We said, absolutely, public school, Spanish school, all the way. Why? The kids were young enough, and our plan was to stay long term in Spain, and we wanted our kids to learn Spanish. It was so important for us that they were immersed into life here, that they had Spanish friends, that they were socializing with Spanish friends, and that they learned the language. And they were young enough, they were probably fluent within it. Well, it's hard to tell with Abigail, she couldn't even speak English at that point. But Oliver was 4. He started in the infantile cycle in Spain, and he was really well able to navigate in Spanish within his first school year. And his teacher at the time told us that.
Yeah, 1 year.
1 year, and it will be done. So, we are proof that when you go that route, the child is young enough, they will integrate and they will immerse themselves into the language.
Yeah.
We decided to keep our kids in Spanish primary education through primary school, public education all through primary school. And then we made a decision through talking to our kids and what they wanted. And I know it's hard to say, they don't know what they want at that age, but they can give you a bit of insight and direction, that we were then going to move them into international school for high school and secondary school because of what they wanted. I think it's important to note as well that when you are, like in our case, when our first language at home is English and the kids are going to Spanish school, Spanish environment, their Spanish level is improving, but their English written level was staying a bit stagnant. So as parents, we had to put some focus on that at home. And I think our kids, our son especially, felt that for his high school, secondary school, he wanted to improve his English level to the same level as his Spanish written level. So that was an important priority for him as well. But having had experience of both, we had an excellent experience all through primary school in Spain. The kids really did well there. It is not without its challenges. It comes different language, different school, different cultures. You have to adapt and support, but overall we had a good experience.
Yeah, the primary school education in Spain is excellent.
Yeah.
From speaking to our parents, from our own experience, they really, it can be a bit daunting sending your kids to Spanish school as a foreigner, but they really took them in and made them their own, which was fantastic. So it made it a lot easier.
Yeah, I think you have to be prepared to put in the effort as well to work with them. And we were at the start, and we hired a Spanish tutor for classes in the evenings to help where we weren't able to support, but we got back the effort. So it was good, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, then more recently we have an experience with international school, which has also been great. Class sizes are smaller, very diverse mix of nationalities in the class, which is also great because
different cultures,
different cultural norms. It's great for the kids to experience that and see that diversity as well. So,
and I think it sets them up for the future in business or anything else. If they've been dealing with different cultures, as you know for yourself from corporate, it sets them up, to control that and not to be
more respectful and aware, isn't it, of different cultures and communicating cross-culturally. It's important. Okay, so we're just approaching school number 1 on the agenda today, and it's in the beautiful
Toramoye.
And if you followed any of our area guides, you will have seen Warner talk about Tormway in the past. So Warner, tell us a little bit about Tormway as a location.
Tormway is part of Benalmádena. You have the amazing train line. You have absolutely beautiful villas and really nice restaurants and cafes. Really homely feel to it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think the train line is a great plus here, especially if you've got kids of an older age, because it gives them a little bit of autonomy, and it's only one stop on the train line from Arroyo de la Miel, so it's great. So the school that we've got today is the British College here in Tormway, and the British College is a school that accepts students from the age of 3 all the way up to A-level cycle. So I guess what's good about this as an option for education, you don't actually need to change your child's school, provided you're happy with how they're getting on here, which is fantastic. It is, a British college, so by its name's sake, the education is covered first of all in the primary language of English, and they obviously learn Spanish as a second language in the school as well. So I think this is a great draw for Tormway as a location. If you are looking at Tormway as a place to buy, it's so handy having this as a school on your doorstep in the centre of the village. And as you drive around the village, you'll notice that a lot of the properties are close to the school, so you have the ability of being able to walk your child to school in the morning, which is an absolute great benefit.
And we have some friends that actually have villas in the area of Tormway. Their kids went to the British school, and the kids walked to school every day. So it was great for them, and if they wanted to go to Arroyo, they went just into the train station, and they were 7 minutes, and they were in the centre of Benalmádena, Arroyo de la Miel.
So the school itself, as I said, is the centre of the village. It's a walking distance to the local train station, which is a great benefit. In front of the school, you also have the main bus route, which is very close to the main road, but you're also surrounded by some really nice high-end cafes, little restaurants, more traditional restaurants. You have local supermarkets. Really, you've got everything that you need in Tormway.
And we're just driving up to it now. They've just opened a big community sports centre, because one of the sports, paddle, has been really, over the last couple of years in Spain, really taken off. So they have paddle and tennis courts, and it's a good hub for people that live in the area.
Absolutely is. Let's talk a little bit about then maybe price point of property in Tormway. What can people expect to get for their money here, Warner, if they feel like, this is an area I'm curious about, lots of draws for me on my priority list?
Yeah, so as you can see when we're driving, it's tree lined by beautiful villas, 4-bedroom, 5-bedroom villas. And probably the price point starting, if you're looking for it with a villa with a view, is probably around €1 million.
Maybe 1 million, 1.2, 1.3. Yeah. Probably what I've noticed lately with that price point, you might need to factor in some renovation costs on top of that, because a lot of the villas in this area are older and might require some modernisation, right? Yeah,
no, absolutely. That could be the case. And then if you have a bigger budget, there's villas all the way up to 3, 4, 5 million.
Now, what is good about Tormway as an area is you do have villas as an option, but you do have communities as well. So you're very close. You're a short drive to Big Blue, which is a urbanisation of new detached townhouse style villas. Many of them have their own pool, quite luxury accommodation, high specification. That is also within this postcode as well, I would say. But then you also have some smaller urbanisation with more Spanish style townhouses and apartments called Pueblo Andaluz. And what's nice about Pueblo Andaluz is it's got very Andalusian features, but it's walking distance to the train station and this great sports complex that Warner mentioned earlier. And again, walking distance to the school. It's a lovely village, isn't it, Tormway?
Yeah, it's peaceful, and
You grew up here?
I spent my years growing up here. My family had a villa, so there's a place in my heart. And I remember the old sports centre, taking my tennis racket with my friend and playing tennis, so just shows you how much it's changed.
So this is the new sports centre here. Gorgeous, lovely new cafe there as well. There's a really good physio centre here as well. This is a really nice investment in addition to the area.
Yeah, so people are just dropping their kids off or letting them walk to school and then getting up in the morning and having a game of paddle or tennis.
Going to the gym, having a coffee and going about their day. What a lovely life.
It's a beautiful life.
Okay,
Yeah.
So we've left Tormuye and we are now en route to Torquebrada, and we've just turned off the motorway now, or the highway, to Nueva Torquebrada, and we've got a great school here which we're going to drive past now in 2 minutes. Driver?
Yeah, and the road.
This school is the Benalmádena International College, in short BIC. It's here in the middle of Nueva Torquebrada. It's surrounded by multiple different apartment complexes and it's next to Mercadona, which is very convenient for the school drop in the morning. A little bit like the school that we've just left, the British College, the Benalmádena International College, BIC, also follows a British curriculum, and you have the option to have your child here from nursery age right up onto A-level cycle, which also means that you do not have to swap schools for your kids between primary and secondary education, which is fantastic because kids get used to things, they get familiar in environments, their friends are there, and usually, they're happy to stay. This is a smaller school than the school that we've just left. It's got a great reputation locally for being a school that, it's very intimate. The relationships with the kids really get nourished because it's just that little bit smaller. And yeah, as I said, it's British curriculum, right up to A-level cycle. I know that there is a great sports centre also at this school, and the school also has its very own mascot. I can't remember the dog's name, but I've heard kids and families that go to this school, especially if they're animal lovers, talk very, very contently about the Labrador, I think, that greets all the kids in the mornings when they come to school, which is really, really sweet.
Yeah, it's a good touch, that. And also the class sizes, to remember, the class sizes in international schools are much smaller, yes, than the public, so it's something, if your kid is not outgoing or anything like that, then it's a good opportunity to put them into a class size which is smaller, yeah, because also they'll be in with different cultures from people from different locations all around the world. Yeah. But yeah, it's a...
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think that's a great point. In public school, we've always seen class sizes around 28, often up to 32. Now, we have 2 kids, which we talk about a lot, and our eldest is probably more outgoing and extroverted than our youngest, and that environment didn't impact him at all. He was fine. He was able to survive and manage. But we noticed with our daughter, who is quieter and a little bit more introverted and just a little bit more sensitive in disposition, she actually, in the last year of her education in public school, she struggled with that. Because she's a good kid and she's not naughty, she's not really commanding the teacher's attention, but because the class size was a little bit larger, she started to feel a little bit left behind, and it did impact her a bit, Warner, didn't it?
Yeah, it did impact her.
Yeah.
So it did.
So she's now also, because our plan all along with our kids was public school, Spanish school for primary, and then we migrate into a private international for secondary, and she's now moving into that, and she's actually really looking forward to just having the smaller class sizes. So I think it's something to bear in mind as well when we talk about the pros and cons of local and international school. It's important to take maybe the nature of your child and character of your child into consideration, because if you feel that they're a child that might be intimidated by larger class sizes, larger environments, then maybe an international route is for you. Let's talk a little bit about the area, Torquebrada, Nueva Torquebrada. Why would we like to live here, Warner?
Torquay Brothers, it's very close to the beach. It's got great transport links, and if you like golf, it's got one of the most known to be one of the best courses in the Costa del Sol. It's surrounded by beautiful apartments. You can also get townhouses and some villas, so it has something for everybody. But I think about the location is good. They have good supermarkets, bars and restaurants as well. So yeah, very good option.
So a lot of the urbanisations in Torquay Brothers, they're overlooking the golf course. So if you want more of a golf course view, that type of aesthetic, I suppose, that's what you're getting here, which is great. What are we talking about from an apartment price point or villa? It's a lot. I think this area, just to call out, it's a lot of apartments and townhouses.
Of course.
More, there is villas, but not as many as we saw in Torquay.
Yeah.
So you're more townhouse living, apartment living, complex community living. What type of price points are we talking about in this area?
If for a 2-bedroom, you're looking around about 275,000 plus.
So if I want a 3-bedroom or more of a townhouse for my family, a little bit of outside space, how much do I need to have?
Around about 450,000 euros.
Yeah, I'd say more. I'd say you want about 550.
Okay, 550.
So between Warner says 450, Sandra says 550. So allow yourself up to 550,000 if you want.
You get some change back.
If you want some change back. Amazing. Okay, and that went quick. We're actually nearly at our third location. And our third location is
Arroyo de la Miel.
Well, we're at the top of Arroyo de la Miel now. We are going back to the lovely urbanisation and area of Arenal Golf. Arenal Golf is a popular urbanisation for families located on a small golf course. Lovely location nestled between the wonderful Arroyo de la Miel and Benalmádena Pueblo. Warner has also featured this location in one of his previous videos. It's a good location. It's also nice for golf lovers. It's phenomenal for families. Why? It's located right next to both the local public and private hospital. Zanet International Hospital is right on our doorstep here. We're going to pass it now in a minute. This is a great health facility. We use it. We don't need to because the public system is great here, but we use it because our son has horrendous asthma and he really suffers and often needs to attend A&E for support, and we use it purely for peace of mind because we can arrive on the doorstep of the hospital and have him seen within a minute, and it's just really easy for us. The standard of the hospital is excellent. The healthcare is brilliant. If you are not comfortable with your level of Spanish yet, you can receive your healthcare in English, which is great. The rooms are so nice. I've stayed in worse rooms than hotels. They're really good. So the standard of care, the standard of the hospital is really good. We're just driving past it now. And at the back of the private international hospital, you have the local public hospital, which is also excellent, really good. We've attended there for some fractures and breaks when kids have tripped and fell over the years, and always only had an amazing experience. Now, right here next to the hospitals, we have a lovely school called Nova School Benalmádena. Now, Nova School is part of, I suppose, a chain of schools. You will have the Nova School name in other locations on the Costa del Sol. There's one located close by in Malaga. And Nova School it's more of an international school. You can have your kids here from Guadaria nursery age babies right up until they do their international or final qualification. And I believe that the final qualification in this school, because they're following more of a Spanish international route, is the Bachelorette. So again, kids don't really need to swap schools, but it is a private school, but more of a Spanish language first, English as a secondary language. But it's a great school, and it's located right in the heart of the Arenal Golf urbanisation, and it's also located right next to an excellent public school. So that again makes this area great, because you have local public school, primary and secondary, private international school, primary, secondary, guarderia, hospitals, you're on a golf course, you're on the bus routes, you're nestled between Arroyo de la Miel and Benalmádena Pueblo. You have great views of the sea and the mountains. For me, it's hard to beat this location, to be honest, in terms of what it gives you.
Yeah, and all surrounded by a nice 18-hole 3-par golf course.
It's ideal. You have the little golf clubhouse there, which is open to the public for, drinks and snacks. It really is lovely, isn't it?
Yeah, and we had a personal experience ourselves, because Abigail, we chose Nova School for nursery, and I think when Abigail left there, I think we cried more than Abigail cried, because it was absolutely fantastic.
It was so good.
They done their hair, the uniform that they had on. Abby had beautiful blonde hair at the time. It was a beautiful nursery.
Yeah, you really took that hard when we finished our relationship with that school.
Yeah, Pepper, still remember the teacher.
Yeah, no, it was great. We had a phenomenal experience, and because obviously that was her first education experience in Spain after moving from Ireland at 1, it was just a great experience to have, and we really talk highly of Nova School, particularly from our experience. I can't comment from a secondary or high school perspective, but from a nursery to primary, really good route. Okay, so we're actually just driving past an apartment that we've just sold. Warner, what type of accommodation can I expect in this particular urbanisation?
Yeah, this is your 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom, very large streets, wide streets, so there's lots of parking, which is great. But normally the apartments come with 2 parking spaces and a storeroom, which is so important in Spain to have.
Crazy drivers. On we go.
Crazy drivers as well.
Yeah, they're good spec, so they're pretty recent. They are still building up here, but even the oldest ones are only about 15 years old, so they're extending all of the time. And you have pharmacy located here, you have a small Carrefour, a little coffee shop, a gym. There's also a co-working hub here, which is great. So yeah.
And they're building modern apartments just up from it as well. So if you like your sea views, then that's a good option for you.
So a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom, how much will that cost you in this area?
Around about 300,000.
Okay, and a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom apartment with parking and storage?
You're probably looking about 375.
Okay, so there you go, just to kind of guide. Lovely new laundrette. Every time I drive past here, I'm impressed. You know, it's got everything.
And you got, in this area as well, like the 3 bedrooms would be the penthouse, most of the penthouse apartments, so you have beautiful roof terraces as well.
Yeah.
So there's a good option.
Where to next, driver?
We're heading to Arroyo de la Miel.
So Arroyo de la Miel translates as River of Honey, I think. Yeah.
It does.
Which is lovely.
The Honey River.
The Honey River. Honey Creek. Honey Creek.
The Honey Creek.
Honey Creek.
Okay.
Great. So yeah, look, as we just mentioned, if you just continue like up here to the left, you're right into Benalmádena Pueblo, which you can learn about from our Benalmádena area guide. If you haven't checked that out, you will find it if you just scroll down. It's a great video which covers the different neighbourhoods and locations in Benalmádena. Now we've left Arenal Golf, and this would also be the main road that would take you down from Benalmádena Pueblo all the way to the centre of Arroyo de la Miel. I love Arroyo de la Miel, and I am always so surprised by the amount of people that visit Benalmádena and never even know about its existence, because maybe they're holidaying or they're here for a short time and they're staying specifically on the coastline, in the marina, on the beachfront. But if you're in the Benalmádena area and you really want to experience what is life like for locals in Benalmádena, you are a short walk uphill, short taxi ride to Arroyo de la Miel, where you've got the local town with the local train station. You've got all your local shops, cafes, banks, little boutiques. It's just a lovely little town, isn't it, Warner? Our office is there.
Yeah, no, Arroyo is beautiful. You know, even to go there, just sit in the wine bars or the cafe bars and just watch the world go by. Switch your phone off and you're in paradise.
Yeah, no, it's great, and you know, it's affordable. The cafe bars, the restaurants, you know, you're still talking, you know, a coffee for €2, €2.50, a glass of wine probably the same, €2, €2.50, a small beer €1.50, €2. You'll pick up some traditional tapas lunches. It's just a great little place to be.
Yeah, I think Spain has not went down the franchise route.
No.
You know, you do get your Burger Kings and McDonald's, but other than that, you know, like in any other parts of the world, you know, you've got your Starbucks, you've got all these, but they're charging you an arm and a leg for coffee. But in Arroyo, you can get it for, as you said, €2.50.
So we're driving now right into the centre of Arroyo. We know this area pretty well. We used to live here in this street. We had a townhouse here, and this area is called Monte Alto, Veracruz. So you'll often hear us mention those areas. They're areas of Benalmádena where you find maybe older townhouses and villas. They've typically been built around the 70s and 80s. Now, if we take this road down here, it brings us right to the seafront. We'll pass Paloma Park on the way down, and this road here brings us to the centre of Arroyo, where we'll pass the old Tivoli World, and we will be right at the train station. So you can just see how central we are. So this area is very, very popular for locals, very popular for families. Apartments in this area tend to be larger in size, with typically 3 bedrooms, 1 to 2 bathroom, a parking space, a community pool, and some sort of maybe tennis court or area for families to enjoy recreational time in the evenings. But you will notice that some of the aesthetic, they are older, so a lot of people are buying in this area and renovating because the apartment style is maybe older. It's 70s, 80s style. So we've got large parking area here. We're coming right around to the train station, and because Arroyo is popular for locals and families and working professionals as well, because you are at the train station, you have a lot of schools. Now, in this particular area, it's public schools. There is a large number of both primary and secondary public schools. They're dotted around the different, communities in Benalmádena. And what happens is, depending on where your address is, you register at the town hall to receive your padron, and then you get an insight into the schools in the area that you are eligible to apply to. And then from there, you apply to your public schools and away you go. We navigated that process when we came here back in 2016 with no Spanish. I promise you, everybody was really helpful, and it was okay, wasn't it? We got there and we were so happy with the process and the schools we got for the kids at the time. Get help to help you with your paperwork in the early days. We did. Don't onboard that headache all on your own, and you'll just make your life so much easier. So talk to people who've done it before. If you're going local public school route, talk to people who've navigated it before. Don't go it alone. Get their advice, get their support. There's a taxi pulling out there now. Get their advice, get their support, get help with the paperwork, and just make your life as easy as possible. I just love this street. Got the little local church, train station, all your local shops, cafes. It's lovely, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think when we came here in 2016, there wasn't a lot of people that we could ask or help or go onto YouTube and see these more information. It was all like, let's do it this way, let's do it that way.
Try.
So use the experts,
Use us.
Use us, yeah.
So we've left Arroyo now, and we're driving down past Paloma Park, which is another beautiful area in the centre of Benalmádena. Gorgeous park, definitely worth checking out if you are in Benalmádena for the first time. Just while we're talking about international schools in the area. 2 schools that I would like to mention that we're not driving past today. Particularly I want to mention Sunnyview School, which is located in Torremolina's postcode, but it's very centrally located right between Benalmádena and Torremolinos. It's near El Pinillo and the train station there. So if you are at this side of Benalmádena, Arroyo, closer to Torremolinos, that is an excellent school to check out. It's been established since the 70s. We actually did quite a bit of research on this school ourselves, and the only reason we didn't choose it was just due to location. But it's an excellent school. It follows a British curriculum with Spanish, and I understand that the kids can go to this school right from little ones all the way up again to A-level cycle, and it has a really good reputation locally. So, you know, if you are more this side of Benalmádena rather than the Fuengirola side, I think it's a great school option for you to check out. As I said, it has a great reputation locally. The final one just to mention is a school based in Torrecabrada, but it is an international school in Torrecabrada. It's not following the British curriculum like the other schools that we drove past earlier. It's Torrecabrada International College, Colegio Internacional Torrecabrada, and it's following a Spanish curriculum, and this is a popular school for people if they want their kids to learn Spanish, but I guess they want the comforts of a fee-paying school in the sense that the class sizes are small, and it's a small, intimate school. So that's something to bear in mind, that those type of options exist for you as well. You can go, you know, international fee-paying school following a more Spanish curriculum rather than going the British curriculum. We've looped back down here to the beautiful coastline. We're passing Bilbil Castle. The beaches are still quite busy for this time of year, which is nice to see. Warner, do you have any other points or comments that you feel we need to mention when it comes to choosing schools?
No, I think we've been there, done it, and got the t-shirt. So if they have any more questions, then you know we are available to answer them. They just need to contact us, and we will give them good advice of properties and also, you know, schools for them to go to.
Choosing the right location and, well, choosing the right school is one of the most important decisions that you're going to make as part of your relocation journey. It's really going to be one of these choices that's going to make or break your early days in the country, because if your kids are not settling and they're not happy, you will not be happy, and it has a knock-on effect on everything. So it's definitely something that I completely understand takes time, requires attention, and is something that you may need support with. Exactly why we've made this video. So whether you go local school route or you go international school route, Benalmádena has great options for you to choose for, that your family and that your children will benefit from. So irrelevant of the route that you decide, you will find the right option in Benalmádena. So it's definitely, in my opinion, a location that should be considered, particularly if schools are high on your agenda. So we hope you've enjoyed today's video. We really hope that you found it useful. If you did, please press subscribe, and we will see you on the next one.
See you on the next tour.